Well, hello. Welcome to episode 4 or 5, I think, of the Ask the Pilgrim show. Thanks for joining us here, and thanks for joining the Pilgrim Company. Hopefully this stuff's valuable to you. One of the things, just so you know, that we want to do with Ask the Pilgrims and with the Pilgrim Company to make information more accessible is we're going to start breaking out the Ask the Pilgrim show, specifically the questions that are asked throughout the shows, and break those into, like a PDF of sorts. Like, we'll break down the information that we talk about when those questions are asked, and then give those to you. And then we'll also do, I think, specific videos for some of the questions that keep popping up. There's kind of been a few questions that we continue to get asked, and so we're thinking we might make videos specific to that, just so that if you have a specific question, maybe eventually we'll have like a search bar, and you can ask a question, and there'll be media that answers those questions. So we've got some things that we're trying to do. But in this episode, we have a ton of questions that you guys asked, so that's fantastic. Thanks for asking. I don't know why I said it like that. It's kind of condescending. Thanks for asking. Like, we didn't want to be, we did. We specifically asked you to ask us questions, and you did, so I don't know why I wouldn't be anything but happy about that. By the way, I'm by myself today. You may have noticed that. Kids are up at their grandma and grandpa's, and my wife is actually at the trailer right now. So I thought, I'm here, I'm gonna shoot this real quick. So it might be a little rough, but you know, that's what you pay for. All right, so first question comes from Darren Walsh. Hello, Darren Walsh. How's it going, Darren? Long time. We've known each other for a long time. We actually have. So Darren asked, your question's loading, did you get nervous pulling your trailer? Not really. I'm a man, Darren, so men don't get nervous about things like that. I was terrified. Not really. I've actually, so my dad is a truck driver, and not that that makes me good at pulling trailers. Trailering skills, we had a tent trailer growing up, and so when my dad would pull it, he'd always like make sure, even if we couldn't drive, he'd make sure that we knew, like, hey, turn really wide, or when you're backing up, here's how you back up, and those sorts of things. So I kind of grew up around pulling trailers a little bit, and so even growing up, when I got a little older, we had a tent trailer that I'd pull around. So it wasn't crazy. It actually pulls pretty easy. And I'm a man, Darren. I have a beard. Second question from Darren. Do you have solar panels on your trailer? Nope. We'd like them, but we don't. Jason? That's my name. All right, so let's see. He has a ton of questions. I'm sure you all have adapted, but is it still what you thought it would be? That's a great question. I think overall it is. We've been pleasantly surprised at some of the things that have happened in the trailer, and other things were like, oh, this is dumb. So I would say that the things we're pleasantly surprised at is that the space is not nearly as confining as we thought. I think because anyone who has kids probably experiences the same thing, but for us in our big suburban house, the kids were always on top of us anyway. Like, if you go and try to sit down like on the couch, the kids would be right there. Or if you go upstairs and try to get away, sooner or later, usually sooner, the kids would follow you up and be right there. So we were always together as a family, and so the trailer hasn't been that different. Some of the cons are that the couch that we have in our trailer, which is the original couch in the trailer, is terrible. And we've realized that having a really good, comfy couch in a living area really is a nice thing and really helps that room feel cozy and comfy. How are you funding the trip? What type of places do you stay at? So funding the trip, we answered that in episode 1 and I think 2 and possibly 3. I think we've answered it like every show. And there's also a blog post you can find if you go into, I gotta find an easier way for you guys to like find posts on our blog, but go to suburbanpilgrims.com and just search through our articles. You don't have to go too far. And there's one that says like how we're funding our trip. What type of place are you gonna stay at? For the most part, Thousand Trails. It's an RV place. They have them all over the country. And so Danielle's parents actually have like the premier membership with that, which allows family to stay there for free, which is pretty good. So we're staying at a lot of Thousand Trails, but then I don't know, wherever, we want to stay at a lot of state parks. The problem with most RV parks for us is that they just feel like suburbia for the most part. You're just lined up with other RVers, which is cool because it's a totally different vibe than suburbia. But we're also like, we really wanted to like get out into nature. So we want to find like some state parks that are in really cool places that we can stay at. How is the homeschooling going? Any advice in this area? Yes, a lot, which is Danielle's area of expertise. I think she answered a question similar to this in either episode 3 or 4 of Ask the Pilgrims. And I think she'll probably end up doing a post just about homeschooling. And we also want to build up some more specific, like, I don't want to say curriculum, that's stupid, but like videos and, you know, downloadable things that are just about homeschooling, because she's pretty darn good at that. I don't know a whole lot about it. I think the coolest thing about the homeschooling for us is being able to take experiences and attach those to what the kids are learning, you know, so obviously that really lends itself to like history, but also I think geography and learning about, you know, minerals and science and certain things like that, where we can, if the kids are learning about a specific thing, it's more like we're gonna go somewhere, so we're gonna tailor their education and what they're learning about, books they're reading, to what they're gonna go experience, and then they can touch it and feel it and hopefully attach a memory and an experience to something they're learning. I'm excited about that part. Let's see. What are your longer term goals? We don't really have a lot. I'm not a big goal maker. I used to be. I used to have like a 5-year plan and all of this, but I just feel like I don't know what's happening tomorrow, so I'm not a big goal maker. But with that said, one of the things that we are thinking might happen one day, which I guess is a goal, kind of, is we'll probably like end up finding a place somewhere in the country that we love. What we're thinking is probably going to happen is a place in Northern California, because we just love Northern California, and maybe a place in like Tennessee, and find some property and then kind of homestead off of that and slowly build up a traditional kind of home. And while we're building the traditional kind of home, we'll just travel with our trailer back and forth between the 2 pieces of land and still kind of travel, but then we can stop in a place and, you know, hopefully raise some animals and that kind of thing down the road. Any tax tip advice? Nope. Not yet. In a year from now, we might. Not right now. This is from Brian Kling. Hello, Brian. What equipment are you using for filming? Is it all on your phones or something better? Well, it kind of goes back and forth. Most of what we do is on the phones just because it's easier and we always have them with us. And they take great video. Oh, my hair. Oh, my hair. But then I'll also use, I right now have a lot of access to video cameras and things. So we have a couple DSLRs, some Canons, and then Blackmagic cameras, some 4K cameras that we use. So, yeah. I'm probably on the road. I'm probably going to take a 5D, Canon 5D. There's also like Canon makes some cinema cameras that I'm looking at, and there's also a Blackmagic Ursa Mini. That's the camera I'd really like to get. So, yeah. This is from, I only have your email, L. Handlock. I don't know who that is. Oh, Erica from Ohio. Hello. Do your travels take you across the entire country? Yes. Our goal is to hit every state, literally. So we'll hit all 49. We're going to hit Alaska this summer. And then hopefully our travels will take us at least through every state. There might be some states that we don't spend a ton of time at. I don't know. But we do want to hit all of them. And then when we end our trip, we want to take the kids to Hawaii. So we've done all 50. Anna Sanford said, we're in the dreaming phase and really appreciate, could you please share, as much as you're comfortable, your trailer purchase process? Yes. So my wife especially spent a ton of time online trying to find a good trailer. Originally, we were going to buy a new trailer, but we didn't. So my wife and I kind of differed on our opinions here. She wanted to go new. I wanted to go old and fix it up. And so we kind of met in the middle and got a trailer that's a 2004. So it's not super old, but it's not super new. And the advantage to that for us was that we got it for a really good price. And we also were able to remodel it. So it's totally customized to like what we like in our style. Had we bought a new one, we probably wouldn't have customized it nearly as much because it's like, it's new. We don't want to, paint over the walls or tear off that wallpaper or whatever. But an older one kind of looked gross inside. I mean, it was super clean, but it was just not our style. So we were fine just tearing it apart and making it our own. So, and we also thought, like, if we get into this lifestyle and hate it, it'll be a lot easier to sell this older trailer that's totally remodeled inside than a brand new one that we're probably making payments on or something. So that was our thought. Our trailer has, so it's 28 feet about 250 square feet inside or so, very small. Our living room is right in the middle. We have a big living area, we have a nice big slide out, which is cool. So it gives us a pretty big living area. The kitchen's right there, the dining room table and the bedroom. Well, you've probably seen videos about it. We have a walkthrough of it. Then our bedroom is on one side and the kids' bunkhouse is on the other. There were 4 bunk beds in there. We took one of them out. My wife and her dad took one of them out to make more storage. So, where did you look? We looked everywhere. We just looked for the right type of trailer. We were hoping to find one somewhat close to us, but we were willing to drive for it if it was a good deal. Although then you get into some tricky things. But we found one that was about 3 hours from us in Southern California. A little place called, I don't know what it was called, but we looked on Craigslist mostly. And our budget was, I think we wanted to spend like $15,000, and we got our trailer for like 11. Really good deal. And I should stop doing that, it's annoying. Did you have it professionally inspected? Yeah, the RV place that we bought it from goes through everything. They replaced all the tires for us. They put a brand new awning on it and made sure that everything worked inside, so that was kind of nice. I guess that is an advantage from buying from an actual RV dealer than privately, because you don't exactly know what the private seller did or didn't do. We'd love to hear about your how you initially broached the subject with your children. Oh, that's a good question. How did we do that? It was such a slow process for us and something we talked about for so long. I don't think there was really a time that we sat our kids down and said, hey, this is what we're doing. It was just they'd overhear us talking and knew that this is something we were hoping to do and knew that we were looking to sell our car to get a trailer eventually. So it's kind of like a slow progression, and they were a part of that process from the beginning of us just talking about it and sharing ideas. So they were a part of it from the beginning. So there wasn't really a time that we said, here's what we're doing. Do you guys like this idea? They were kind of on board from the beginning, like, when are we going to do this? So it just kind of happened naturally that way. All right. Hey, we're getting through these pretty well. I think there's only 4 more questions. Well, 4 more people who asked questions. Do you guys have internet in your travel trailer? This is such a good question. If so, what kind? A cellular, satellite, or something else? And why did you choose that one? So we've been dealing with internet issues since the beginning. And what we've been doing lately is just trying to stay at RV parks that have internet, which has not worked well. So what we're planning to do is go through Verizon and get their little, I don't know what they call it, their little hotspot thing. We have some other full-timer friends that are doing the same thing. And we just read a blog, Gone with the Winds, I think is what it's called. Winds, that was spelled like W-I-N-S or N-E-S or something. Anyways, they have an article on there about this exact same thing that was super helpful for us. And they actually give a contact number for somebody from Verizon, I believe, who is kind of has the hookup and will help full-time RVers knowing their situation. And they have unlimited access to internet. Because that's always been our downside with satellite or with the hotspot, is you pay a certain amount for a certain amount of data. And I use a ton of data with what I do with video editing. And so we wanted like a lot of internet. And so we're looking into that now with going with Verizon to see if we can get like on an unlimited plan. But yeah, that's our plan there. I'll let you know. That's a good question once we get that figured out. I love what you're all doing. Is this a permanent lifestyle? Will you guys eventually get a house? I kind of answered that, I guess, earlier with the dream question. But yeah, we're planning to do this for at least a year. I know most people set out with a year in mind and then they end up doing 3, 4, 5 years. I don't know how long we'll do it, but we are planning to do this like until we don't want to anymore. And then we won't go to like another house probably, but like I was saying, probably a homestead sort of thing. How do you feel about the journey you're on? Oh, how do your kids feel? So it's kind of tricky right now because we haven't actually started the journey. We've just been staying put for the past like 5 months in the trailer, so it's kind of like, why'd we move into a trailer and not move? And we're kind of like, we're gonna be hitting the road soon, guys. So we're now finally like 7 days away from hitting the road. So we'll see once we actually hit the road. They're very excited to get on the road though and travel and see things. So, so far they're optimistic. What kind of camera are you using? Also wondering about food. Are you guys able to cook most? Yeah, we cook pretty much everything. My wife does anyway. The trailer has like a full kitchen. It's just kind of micro-sized, but she's able to cook everything she used to, and she's a good cook. And camera-wise, I kind of answered already. So that's it for this episode. Hopefully that's helpful. And like I said, we're gonna start breaking up these questions into bite-sized little pieces. So if you guys have specific questions, we can just say, hey, search here, or go through this category, and you can find the answers. All right, gang, thanks for watching. We'll see you some other time.